Yes, Jim. Oh, big sound now. Is that good? Sounds good. Mr. Florida. Yeah, I didn't mean to talk so bad about Florida the other day. It's booming, but I think they can hear better. Yeah, it's turning it down is the tricky part. Yeah, so we'll stay in touch.
Okay, just want to make, oh, you can hear me, good.
Yes.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to say I do not have a question or a report. I know that I'm lodged in the heart of my teacher, and you're lodged in mine. So I just wanted to say that first and foremost.
That's first and foremost, and finally.
Yeah, and finally. So tomorrow is the 30th anniversary, and so it's the West Virginian in me that I wanted to bring something for you on behalf of the Sangha. And what do you get for the teacher who has given you everything and who has touched our lives in so many ways? And Hillary Larson gave me a really great idea. We had a great call on the Donor Collaborative in July. And she was saying, thinking of the future, what would we want in 30 years or 50 years or 100 years from now for the Gangaji Foundation? And the artwork I've done for you today is for them, is for you. But
Not
it's
me,
also
I'm
for
long
them.
gone by then.
But you'll always be with us. And so it's quite a challenge. I'm like, do I write something? I can write pretty good sometimes. But I'm like, no, I want to do something. If I had one thing left to say to Gangaji, what would it be? And thinking about the future, I was like, well, what can I tell the Sangha in 100 years from now? They're going to wonder what it was like to sit in this seat right in this moment. But I also wanted to make sure that with this artwork, when I unveil it here in a second, you'll see, because I know you'll be the first one to say, it's not about you, it's about what you're pointing to. And what would Gangaji want in 100? I know we're always saying, what would Gangaji say? But
Nothing.
Nothing. And how true that will be in a moment. But I would think that in 100 years or 200 years, whatever, with the Sangha that will be there then, I know that if you were there in person, maybe it's a hologram, or whatever, your desire would be to still point to the truth of what Ramana and what Papaji have pointed to. So with all of that said, I have to tell you, I'm super nervous because I've really poured my heart into this. And if it's horrible, it's just my painting. If it's great and you love it, it's from all of us. So that's the deal. And it was digitally created, so I'll put that out there up front. But
what's beautiful is the spirit behind it and in it.
Yes. And I just have to say, this is coming from a place, I know that I speak on behalf of all of us, that this is for all of us. Like, what do you want your teacher to know? And that was the thing as I was creating this. And I want you to know that you have touched our lives and we have heard you. And that's the most important thing I think a teacher can pass on to her students, is that we have heard you and we are applying what you have taught us. And we will go deeper. And so with that, let me...
Thank you. That's the gift.
I know.
Really, that's the gift. And I am honored to receive this gift.
Thank you. And I feel like it's Christmas Eve because, it's the night before. So I hope you like it, but I'll just, after I unveil it, I'll explain just a bit of it, but let me show you.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Jim.
I'm sorry. I wanted a little bit of me in this painting, in this creation.
It was working, yeah.
Check one. Oh, there we go. Thank you. But so why I made it this way was because you know that you and Ashland are inextricably linked because this is your home. And so this is Lithia Park with all the beautiful trees who still send their love. And amongst the flowers and the idea of it, and I know there's a few details that are not perfect, but the smaller mountains are supposed to be Mount Hood and Mount Shasta, and the larger mountain in the back is supposed to be Arunachala. And so
Perfect.
that's why I was like, that's what in years to come, my hope is that when people see this, they will, that's what this was like. You're looking and thus pointing at that mountain, which is where Ramana was awakened. And I did my research. Papaji went to his ashram there, so I'm sure that he too had an experience with the mountain. And so that's what you're sitting there always doing. And I want you to know that in years to come, this is always how I will think of you.
Such heart.
And that you have been heard. And for all of us whose lives you have saved and touched. I don't have any more words.
Thank you. I love it. It's my most photogenic side, too. You captured it.
Well, what kind of flipped me out last night was when you took off your scarf. You were wearing that shirt last night. And I was like, oh, wow, it was just something.
Perfection.
So, I love you.
Thank you.